Okay, I'm sitting down with Becky Davis, the director of culinary at Wendy's. Becky, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so Becky, I want to get into Wendy's menu innovation, what you guys are working on, the success you've had in the past year. There's been a lot of exciting stuff. Let's take a step back though and talk about you as a chef. How did you get into this job?
Yeah, I've always had a passion for cooking, and my favorite thing to say is restaurant people are my people. Truly the nicest people I've ever met are in the restaurant industry, and there was just this kind of gravitational force that pulled me to it.
Sure.
Started out culinary school and fine dining here in Chicago, probably a million years ago, and then quickly fell in love with R&D, the process of it, and being able to identify a consumer need and how you can deliver that to the masses.
Yeah. What led you to Wendy's?
What led me to Wendy's?
Yeah.
Gosh, the menu innovation, it's so exciting, everything that they have going on. 4 years ago at the time, they were talking about, and they still are, innovating across the entirety of their menu. So the chance to be able to innovate on burgers and Frosty and Dave's Craft Lemonade, all of their iconic menu items, was a really exciting opportunity.
It's interesting that, a lot of folks don't understand how corporate chefs at some of the biggest brands, start in fine dining, are classically trained.
Yeah.
And you guys ultimately get to impact millions of customers every week.
Yeah.
What does that feel like, that the things you create in a kitchen, millions of people will eat?
Yeah, millions of people will eat it, but I think the thing that's most important to me is that millions of Americans spend their dollars on it. So millions of people are going to Wendy's with their hard-earned money and choosing us to fill their bellies with.
Yeah.
So really appreciate that we have that opportunity to get their business and to be able to deliver on the value for them.
Sure. Okay, let's look over the past year, because you guys have had some really impressive successes. We have to start with Saucy Nugs, because last night we were very excited to give you guys a Menu Masters Award for your Saucy Nugs.
Thank you.
I mean, look, chicken right now is like, you can't do any wrong with chicken.
Yeah.
But tell me about the process for developing Saucy Nugs, what that looked like.
Yeah, so it was a really exciting opportunity because we have an iconic item with our nuggets. Consumers flock to them. They love them. They tweet about them all the time. Really always are talking about our nugs. So to be able to innovate sauce innovation and drive new high impact flavors on top of our one of our most iconic items was really exciting.
And the sauce is so key to this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, chicken brands before, you have a barbecue sauce, a honey mustard, a ranch. But now you guys you understand that differentiation is so important.
Yeah.
So how did you guys look at that with the sauce innovation and how you could use that to stand out?
Yeah, so with our sauce innovation, we looked at those classic flavors that we know people are really craving, but understood how we could deliver our own twist on them or make them unique to us. So when you get our Saucy Nugs, you're able to get them on our classic or our spicy nugs. And from there, you can really kind of choose your destination of how you want to pick that flavor profile. So if you want more of that honey barbecue, that very approachable flavor profile, you can layer it on top of our spicy nug to get a little kick to it as well. So really the opportunity to customize your experience is what makes it truly stand out.
My 6-year-old son, he was so convinced. He's like, Dad, I'm going to do the spicy one. He got the spicy one. He took one bite. He's like, nope. So I ate his spicy nugs, and it was all good. He had the honey barbecue. We were all good.
Good. We still have something for him.
Yes, that's right.
Good.
So, I mean, I want to talk about like your process for innovation, because you have 6-year-olds who are at Wendy's all the time. You have folks like myself. You have grandparents. I mean, everybody. You guys really obviously cross a wide swath of demographics.
Yeah.
How does that affect your approach to menu innovation?
The thing I love about consumers, especially our consumers, is that they will tell you what they want. So being able to listen to your consumer and then also leaning cross-functionally on your partners to understand how you can bring it to life is truly how we make stuff work at Wendy's. So understanding what menu items they're looking for. Do they want a sweet treat? Do they want a burger? Are they looking at one of our biggie propositions? And then how can we deliver innovation on top of that? So really leaning into that consumer and actually just listening to what they're asking for is how we make it successful.
How much of that listening happens on social media?
A lot. Consumers are very vocal on social media, but it's great because anyone has access to that information. We're able to go on there and read it whenever we like. And it's really fantastic for us to get insights into what consumers are saying.
Okay, so for Wendy's being such a huge brand, a global brand, I imagine it's also a pretty lengthy process that you have to work on this menu innovation. How far out are you looking when it comes to developing new items?
Gosh, ideally, it's a lengthy process. We love to have all the time in the world to be able to deliver. But one of the things that's fast moving is our consumer trends and their expectations. So ideally, we're looking 12 to 18 months out in a perfect world. However, we can be very quick, very nimble, very agile, and be able to bring something to life in a relatively short time frame.
The trend I think about from last year was that Swicy.
Yeah.
Suddenly it was all over TikTok.
I know.
So like, how do you tackle something like that and get on top of it and get it out to stores quickly at 7,000 plus global locations?
Yeah. Leaning on top of the innovation that we already have in the restaurants, leaning on our operators who are amazing and who are able to make moves like that. I mean, it's great when we can do it in the test kitchen. It's great when we can pull it off at home. But being able, as you said, to implement it over almost 7,000 restaurants globally, that's what's the tricky part. So really being able to, great operational partners, great supplier partners, a very nimble supply chain, being able to make those changes rapidly is what really helps us.
Yeah. So a couple other menu successes from the past year. The SpongeBob activation,
so
that was
fun.
Huge, and that was everywhere. Everybody was talking about it. I mean, to the point that it leaked. I mean, like, of course, you're probably a little bummed, but on the other hand, if people care enough that it's leaking and that's news, that must have been exciting.
It was very exciting. I don't think any of us were expecting the consumer reaction that we saw. But seeing consumers go online and almost be excited to be the first to share it or, share it with their friends, be it on social media, making a TikTok video about it, putting it on Instagram, seeing that passion from consumers and then knowing they were so excited to come to Wendy's for us to bring it to life was a lot of pressure to make sure we could do so, but really, really exciting.
Also speaks to something you're doing a lot more of, which is a partnership, because you partnered with the SpongeBob franchise, obviously on that Paramount. You partnered with Girl Scouts on a Thin Mint Frosty. And what does that look like? I mean, because now you're partnering with Pop-Tarts, with Fusion Frosties. So why are partnerships like that important to this process?
The brand loyalty that consumers have across multiple brands and being able to bring multiple iconic items together in one platform truly is magical. So taking something like our Frosty, I mean, ask anyone, what's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Oh, I mean, mine is Samoa. But
is it? Okay, so Samoa's and Thin Mints are the top two. But being able to bring that passion that they have for Frosty and Thin Mints together and then deliver it to them, it's really exciting to see their reaction and see the passion that they have behind those products. Okay, so I would say we're pretty picky about who we partner with. We want to make sure that it's a great fit for the brand. It works well, but ultimately it delivers on what the consumers are looking for.
So you've got some breaking news here, I think, or at least some hot off the press news. There is another partnership that you've got coming out.
There is another partnership we have coming out, leaning back into consumer flavor innovation and what they're looking for. We are partnering with Takis in 2025. So very exciting to bring Takis to life through Wendy's.
And what will that look like?
It'll be highly flavorful. I can't give specifics of the exact build behind it, but it'll span across multiple aspects of the menu. You'll be able to have your experience in more than one format. Really, really flavorful. It definitely has that crunch, that spice. It's a really exciting item. Really excited for you to see it.
Yeah. So speaking of that too, I've had the pleasure of being in your test kitchen, and I know you guys have a lot of international products that are not in the States or in your international markets. Tell me about what that looks like and how it influences maybe what you serve at domestic Wendy's.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We are attached at the hip with our international partners, understanding what they're doing in different markets and how their consumers are reacting to it. We're always kind of bouncing back and forth with ideas on what'll work for international, what can we pull over here, and kind of vice versa. The thing I love about consumers is that they will take to social media no matter what country they're in. And as soon as someone shares a photo, everyone's aware of what everyone else is doing. So seeing that passion that consumers will bring forward and be able to get excited about menu items that aren't here in the US, that really kind of helps move some of those along too.
So it's interesting. We both live in Columbus, where you guys are based, and everybody always says Columbus is like the test market of America because it's like this cross section. Because I know you guys had the Frosty Fusions on the menus in my local Wendy's.
You did. You were a lucky one.
I was one of the lucky ones. How do you get input from customers as you roll these things out?
Yeah, I mean, we've already talked a lot about social media. But you've seen our test kitchen. We have a state-of-the-art facility that we're able to bring consumers in. We're able to choose, as you said, kind of a melting pot of demographics for consumers to come in, taste our product, and give us candid feedback on how we can deliver what they're expecting. So whether it be product improvements or if we hit it out of the park, we're able to understand that.
All right, last question, Becky. We're here at the restaurant show where it's a good opportunity to kind of check in with what's the state of things.
Yeah.
And I can get a good sense of what's the hot flavors out there.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine you do as well as you walk around, as you see what's going. Give me a little peek into what you see as being some of the hot flavors right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily say flavors per se, but beverage is everywhere. I think there's a million different beverage companies, be it energy or inclusions or different flavor profiles, different bases, a lot more beverage that we're seeing this year.
Dirty soda seems to be everywhere
I
at the
know.
moment. Are you looking at it?
We're looking at it.
Okay.
Really exciting. I know we have a great partnership with Coca-Cola. So understanding how we can maybe bring some new news to our customers later would be a great thing.
Becky Davis of Wendy's, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.